7 Unexpected disadvantages of NATO membership. 1. Guaranteed tensions with Russia. Joining NATO means taking a clear stance against Russia. The alliance was formed in 1949. It was meant as a defense against the Soviet Union. Russia sees itself as the USSR's successor. Therefore, it continues to view NATO as a threat. Moscow considers all NATO members, except Turkey, unfriendly. NATO has been spreading eastward. The possibility of conflict with Russia is always there. 2. Being dragged into a conflict. NATO's central principle is collective defense. If one member is attacked, all members must come to their aid. Invoking Article 5 requires a complete consensus. This principle is supposed to strengthen the alliance, but it can also mean getting involved in conflicts that don't align with your interests. For example, Hungary is a NATO member, yet it echoes Russian and Chinese propaganda. Prime Minister Orban is friendly with Putin. In a conflict with Russia, Hungary may face a dilemma. 3. Disproportionate funding. NATO's budget depends on member countries' contributions. Not all members contribute equally. In 2014, leaders agreed to aim for a 2% GDP spending target within a decade. The majority of members failed to meet this target. The U.S. is the biggest contributor to NATO. Washington allocates 3.61% of its GDP. Greece, Estonia, and Poland meet or exceed the 2% guideline. Luxembourg contributes only 0.44% of its GDP. Canada, Slovenia, Spain, and Belgium all fall below 1%. This puts a strain on the organization's finances. This also creates tensions within NATO. In 2018, Trump ranted about the allies' unequal defense spending. He accused them of being delinquent. He also suggested they should pay double. 4. Over-reliance on the U.S. NATO largely relies on U.S. funding to get things done. That puts some countries in a tough spot. What if the Americans decide to attack someone preemptively? The dilemma is choosing between assistance and possible funding consequences. In reality, some NATO nations act independently. For example, Turkey went into Syria without the alliance's support. 5. Slow decision-making. NATO is a big bureaucratic machine. It struggles with making decisions quickly and easily. This can be frustrating for countries in urgent need of assistance. 6. Limited effectiveness. NATO is criticized for being ineffective. Sometimes members just can't get along. Turkey occupies the northern part of Cyprus. NATO calls for a resolution, but lacks enforcement power. Membership in NATO is voluntary, so members aren't legally bound to follow its decisions. Plus, NATO doesn't even have its own army. The alliance relies on troops from member nations. 7. Lack of common values. Turkey, a NATO member, has shifted from democracy to autocracy. Hungary is also moving toward authoritarianism. NATO has experienced similar situations before, like Portugal's dictatorship and Greece's colonel's regime. The alliance struggles with a lack of shared values. It's nearly impossible to establish a cohesive strategic vision.